Hi, and this section of the video we're going to be talking about some of these major theories dealing with marriage and family therapy, or MFT for short. One of the theories is objections, relocations, family therapy, which is families, members bringing interjections from their childhood. This could be maybe a lack of fulfillment in some relationship or another when they're from childhood, maybe from a parent or siblings, and then how this influences their present relationships. For instance, an absentee father how it might affect a son, and then growing up and either maybe pushing male mentors away from himself, or maybe seeing every elderly male as a mentor. So I mean, how it affects their present relationships due to their childhood, whatever happened in their childhood that has not been fulfilled, but is being fulfilled now. Another one is under the theory is the experimental family therapy. Both Whitaker and Keith, they help families open up and be more honest about their feelings, and empower them to choose to change in more constructive ways. So in other words, it's kind of like a third party kind of helping, being the unbiased person, helping the family members talk to one another. Helping the mom to open up her emotions about her husband, and then helping the son open up their emotions about the father, and then just kind of helping them to dialogue as a family. So those dysfunctional families that don't know how to talk to each other, this is what experimental family therapy does, is helping families to talk to each other. Transgenerational family therapy, or Bowen family therapy, believes family members need to be differentiated of self. So when families are something called fusion, they become so interrelated and so connected. It's very difficult to differentiate yourself from your other family members. And so this is what Bowen believes is you need differentiation of self to separate yourself in the self-dependence of family. Another term that Bowen uses is triangulation, where you get triangled by two people, or it's two people against a conflict, or two people against something else. A great example of this is a married couple have a fight and have a common friend, and then this common friend pretty much becomes this mediator between the two, and then you get triangled. If you're the common friend, you get triangled between the couple, and so, or maybe there's a couple and maybe the wife talks to you, and now it's you, the wife, and the husband, and so instead of her talking to her husband, she's talking to you, and you're fulfilling that to alleviate the pressure or the stress from the fighting. And multi-generational transmission process. This is talking about someone who has maybe low self-esteem marries somebody who has low self-esteem, and then they have children who have low self-esteem, who marry somebody who has low self-esteem, and then they have children who have low self-esteem, and then this is kind of progresses and it continues. And that's just one example. It could be other reasons. Maybe an alcoholic marries an alcoholic, and that's a family line. So that's what multi-generational is. And there's also transgenerational family therapy, and that's helping primarily dealing with ethical dimensions in families, doing what's right. It's a little more pragmatic, and so this all falls under family systems, family systems theory. The next theory that we'll focus on is structural family therapy, and developed by Mushin, focuses on the organization of families and the structure, hence the name structural family therapy. And so what are the family rules, the roles, the alignments, the correlations, and then sometimes reorganizing the family from those rigid repetitive patterns of, we're all passive, we're going to be passive, we're never going to address conflict head on, saying, okay, maybe you need to break this organization of no one talking to nobody and just ignoring the issue, of dealing with the issue. And so that's structural family therapy. Strategic is a little bit more pragmatic, problem-solving therapy, and it uses creative ways, solving the problem in creative ways. So it's dealing with specifically with the behavior. Okay, the child seems to act up when the mom and dad have a fight, in order so the fight would break up. So then the strategic family therapy would be saying, okay, so obviously the symptoms of the child isn't so much the child has an issue, it's the parents. And now here we see that the child is acting the way they are to protect the parents. Another theory is cognitive behavior family theory. So it's reinforcement of contingencies to bring out increased desirable behavior, which is rewarding you for good behavior. So if you bring good home good grades, fantastic, we'll go out for pizza. Bring home bad grades, we're not going to go for pizza. You're going to be stuck in your room. So cognitive behavioral, and then also restructuring distorted thinking. If there's any distorted thinking in the individual, cognitively, things that they picked up, restoring that. Maybe they need to be a troublemaker and changing that. Another theory is social constructionist family therapy. This is more of a postmodern view. One of the things that people say about family systems theory, it tends to be very patriarchal in the sense of man, husband, and he's the head, or whatever language people use. So this is more a postmodern view of family, and the therapist kind of gently pushes family to come up with their own solutions. This can be in the case of same-sex couples. A lot of it tends to do with father-mother-daughter relationship, or husband-wife. Well, what does it work when it's a two-wife or two-husband? How does that work? Who's the wife and who's the husband? And so helping them to come up with their own solutions, and it's all their own. Of course, it's very postmodern. Then there's a narrative therapy, which it's excellent. It's how people tell a story to other people, and this perception of their story is they internalize it, and it becomes part of their identity by the stories that they tell. And this kind of a therapist says, okay, this is stories you're saying about yourself, but they're not so much who you are. So they externalize. Externalization is just seeing that the problem is not part of their identity, it's something that's outside of them. And then also starting with new stories and seeing a better story. And this is dealing with people who just see the story as a problem. If I wasn't Middle Eastern, I would have a job now. And if I was a Middle Eastern, I would be able to get to do all kinds of benefits that Caucasians enjoy. Well, that's not true. You're using a story, so then changing that story into more of a positive one. Because I'm Middle Eastern, I have the opportunity to see two different perspectives. Because I'm Middle Eastern, I bring with me a cultural storage of jewels that I can bring to other people and into ministry. Very good pastoral context. And so not seeing so much the center of the issue is the problem, but starting with new stories. And then, of course, all these theories, they depend on family cycles. As an individual, are you married? Do you have children? Do you have adult children who you're sending into the world? And then children taking care of their parents. And how does that work? So that does influence each theory. So now the next section, we'll go ahead and deal with different parts of this theory. Thank you.